If your audience is asking lots of questions at the end of your presentation, it's usually a pretty good sign that they found it interesting. But what if I told you it's a mistake to take questions at the end of your talk? Bear with me. I'm not saying that you should avoid taking questions. It's going to make you look like you have no empathy and that you're trying to hide something. Maybe you're not the expert that you claim to be. But what I am suggesting is that you take questions before the conclusion of your speech. That conclusion is your final opportunity to leave an impression, to hit home those key messages, to share an inspiring story, maybe even surprise the audience with something. And when you open the floor to questions after your beautifully crafted ending, you lose control and you turn it over to the audience. You can end up with the microphone hog who's asking a question but really just wants to hear himself talk. You could end up with the naysayer who's poking holes in your argument and trying to get you riled up. And that not only makes you uncomfortable, but makes the audience uncomfortable too. Maybe you get somebody who was totally tuned out. They ask you a question that you answered 7 minutes ago, and your audience is totally bored at that point. Or you end up with no questions at all. Silence, crickets, and the impression you leave is that what you said really wasn't that interesting. I don't want any of this to happen to you. So before I end my presentation, I always take questions and then I share my conclusion. How do I do this? Well, let's say I have a 30-minute presentation. I build in time specifically for the questions before my closing thoughts. I'll present for 20 minutes. I'll tell the audience, let me open the floor for 5 minutes to take questions before I share my final remarks. And then I share my final conclusion in those last 5 minutes. You can always answer additional one-on-one questions once you're out of the spotlight. But by wedging your questions between your main talk and your conclusion, you stay in control and you control how your audience remembers you.